tonight on Tortured Bourbon, we're doing things a little differently.
Are we not drinking bourbon?
Heather, when are we not drinking bourbon? I promise this is still a bourbon show.
I was promised bourbon.
Good point. But since we're heading into a new year, I thought it was time we make some resolutions and build some stronger relationships and connections with our viewers.
Oh, so we have touchy-feely bee this evening.
Can't win with you, can I?
Why do you try?
What's up, Heather?
What's up, B? I feel like we're going to go deep tonight.
Maybe, but let's start by wishing everyone a Happy New Year. 2024 was a landmark year for us. If you don't believe it, it's on our little logo. It says it right there.
It says
established 2024. And we can't wait to share 2025 with all of you and see where this journey takes us.
It's this train.
Yeah.
Let's try to keep it on the track. So seriously, y'all are so important to us. We love doing this show, and we'd love it if you took a second just to like and subscribe. Please interact with us on social media. We love it. We want to hear what you like and what you don't like and what you'd like us to feature next.
Yeah, she's a millennial. Now, all the details are in the description, but we're not going to waste time. We've got some serious business tonight.
That's right, B. Tonight's episode has layers, like an onion.
Ogres have layers.
Just like that.
Ogres have
exactly
layers.
like that. So we are going to taste and rank this bourbon we have here in front of us, but we're also going to peel back some layers on ourselves. We're hoping that we're able to connect with you a little more.
And credit where credit's due. Tonight's inspiration actually comes from another YouTube channel on bourbon called Bourbon Real Talk, and I would suggest you go check it out if you haven't. The guy that runs it is awesome. He's got a really good message, and he tackled some negativity that people associate with YouTube creators the other day. And I didn't know where he was going with it, but when he landed the plane, I was really impressed. And we're not going to mirror his thoughts, but I wanted to acknowledge their honesty and their impact. And he has, I'll let you watch his show to understand his purpose. He's got a really strong purpose in doing this. So I want to acknowledge that. But first, I also want to say we're going to talk about this bourbon.
Yeah, this would not be Tortured Bourbon without bourbon.
We're still tortured and it's still bourbon.
So we actually have here a bottle of Jefferson's Reserve.
Yeah.
And I feel like this bottle kind of marks the beginning of a journey.
It does. It absolutely does.
So I got this for B for his birthday last year. Before Tortured Bourbon was even a twinkle in either of our bourbon-soaked eyeballs.
Yeah, we had no idea. Yeah, we tried it at a tasting at Whiskey Kitchen.
For
we
your
were actually
birthday.
out for my birthday. Mm-hmm. Is that the night we went and saw Shoot the Thrill?
Yeah.
Okay, so which we might be doing again this year.
Such a fun day.
Yeah, so we went to Whiskey Kitchen, and the next day, you surprised me with a bottle.
Again, it's a perfect representation of where we were versus where we are now. Yeah. So I remember, I knew I wanted to get you a nice bottle of bourbon. I walk in, and all I knew then was go to the section labeled bourbon. Okay, it's for his birthday, so I want it to be decent, so skip the bottom two shelves. And then I'm just kind of looking. I'm like, overwhelmed by I don't know anything about age statements and proofing and any of this stuff. Bottled in bond versus foolproof versus barrel picks. None of this. And so thankfully, I see this bottle and I go, oh, yeah, that was in that tasting. He liked it. Ooh, look, it says Thomas Jefferson on it. It must be legit. Yeah. The bottle's pretty too. This looks classy. We're going to get this one. Yeah. And I remember, you were very nicely excited. I walked in. You were thrilled.
Fantastic.
And it's just so funny. I only got it because I recognized the name and it was on a higher shelf, to be completely honest. Fair. And I wanted to get you a nice gift, but I didn't know anything about. And I don't know if we even knew anything about, we prefer proof points that are around this. We like wheated more than we like rye versus this versus that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No, the only thing we knew about age was, hey, B's officially 10 years older than me for 7 more months.
She's still got jokes.
I'm always going to be consistent.
Yeah.
Flash forward, here we are, a year later. We've got a bourbon channel where we talk about all of these things probably ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Now we like to challenge brands to put their age statements on their bottles.
And they're going to listen to us.
They absolutely are. I'm starting a petition.
Yeah.
Starting a petition. We're sending a lobbyist to Washington.
And we want all that stuff on the bottle.
Yes,
we want it on the bottle. That's why we like Bardstown so much, because it's on the bottle.
Yeah, and I think transparency is great. But I get the theory behind some mystery sometimes.
Sure.
All of that aside, we are going to go back to our roots, and we're going to start here, where it kind of began. It really began with the Reverend.
It did.
Many years ago.
But this was a wonderful gift. So
well,
let's
and it
be very
started
clear.
I want something a little
Yeah.
for a reason. It was like the first targeted purchase. I had no idea what I was doing.
And I want to be very clear. I was over the moon. I was over the moon. So while we sip just a little bit about Jefferson's. So it was launched by Trey and Chet, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Zoller. They were a father-son team, and then Trey would go on to actually start a bottling company, which still exists today. Now, their goal, they were getting the bourbon industry right before the boom, and they had the idea of, well, let's do something different. So they went around and they were buying very old barrels of bourbon. And yes, you can do that. When they existed, you could go to a distiller, you could go to the rick house and say, okay, I want to purchase bourbon you're not using.
Right.
And we're going to purchase old bourbon, and then we'll blend it, we'll bottle it, and we'll sell it as unique offerings.
And that's what we just talked about with Kentucky Owl.
With Kentucky Owl, that's right. This is not a knock on a non-distiller product. That was their thing.
But that's also something I didn't realize people did before this show. I had no idea.
And those guys were very much entrepreneurs. I mean, they were into starting businesses. That's what they did. And in an interview, I'll never forget listening to it on Bourbon Pursuit, they were interviewing one of them, and they said, well, why did you name it Jefferson's? And they're like, well, Jefferson's very Americana, and he's very established, and it has a certain persona. And they said, well, what did it have to do with bourbon? And he's like, well, absolutely nothing.
They just wanted the gravitas of the Jefferson name and throwing Monticello on the front.
You put Monticello and Jefferson on something, all of a sudden it has a whole different meaning.
That's also another thing we've noticed as a trend in bourbon is naming stuff just for the gravitas. Forrester was just because he was the doctor in the Civil War. He didn't really have anything to do with the bourbon. No. Elijah Craig didn't have a darn thing to do with any of their bourbon. And now, Jefferson Monticello has zero connection to this bourbon.
Zero connection with Kentucky.
But I think what you said earlier, it's the Americana connection. Yeah. Bourbon truly tries to own that we are the American spirit. And they want to embody that. And who better than one of our forefathers?
That's right. So flash forward to 2005, Castle Brands buys Jefferson Bourbon. They buy the brand. And they actually have a partnership then with Kentucky Artisan Distillery. So let's be clear. It's still owned by this group, and then they contract with someone else to make it. Maybe 20 to 30% of what is distilled at Kentucky Artisan ends up in this bottle. They're still blending. Their statement is very old. Now, no one knows what that means.
Technically only has to be over two to be called straight, correct?
So it's very old, and we're not saying that it's not a good product, because we had a Jefferson Reserve the other night.
Do we have the Cabernet cask?
Yes,
we have the Pritchard Hill, which is aged in Cabernet.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's good juice. It tastes good.
There's something that bugs you a little bit about it.
But yeah, this is where you cross a weird line with bourbon. If you go in a store. And this is where most people live in the bourbon world. Let's be very honest. There are more people like that than there are like us. There's more.
We were that a year ago.
We were that.
Yeah.
You go in, you look for something, especially as a gift. What will be impressive when I hand this to someone? So here we sit with Jefferson Reserve. They basically have three offerings. They have, and Jefferson Reserve is kind of their middle, and then they do this thing called Jefferson's Ocean, where they take some of the distillate, some of the bourbon that goes in that bottle. They don't tell you how much. So it could be one barrel that they split 1,000 ways. It could be every barrel. And they put it out on a boat, and it travels in the ocean, right?
Hangs out.
And I'm not knocking it, because it does taste good.
Right.
But there's a lot of, like in all bourbon, a lot of this is marketing. But at the end of the day, the consumer goes in. This was aged on a boat. In the ocean.
It must be really impressive.
It's impressive. And hey.
It's a cool shtick.
Does it make you want to taste it? Heck yeah, it makes me want to try it.
Yeah.
So they've got that. But at the end of the day, what we're interested in is, what does this taste like? And question being, you wonder do they blend it so they all try to taste the same? If we get 5 bottles of Jefferson Reserve, are they all going to taste the same? Do they try to be a unique product? I would think the one out in the ocean certainly isn't, because the ocean changes and it's moving in the ocean, and that's all part of it.
It should be different.
So I don't know. It's not. It like it says. It's very old. Kentucky,
very small batch.
Very,
not just small batch.
Very small batch. And for those of you who do not know, there is no definition around small batch. Small batch could mean 10 barrels. It could mean 10,000
Yeah,
barrels.
the use of that is as very liberal.
Yeah. So...
And it's coming in about 90 proof.
Yeah, so let's give this a...
It's very mellow.
It is mellow.
And to be clear, B and I are not going to dislike something just because it is mass marketed and mass appeal.
No.
If we like it, we like it.
Wild Turkey's very mass marketed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very. Matthew McConaughey is the spokesperson.
Well, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, very no burn on the smell. A little bit of vanilla.
A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel.
Mm-hmm. Very caramel forward on the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Very sweet finish. That's pleasant. It's very pleasant.
You can chew it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to burn you out. So it's very mellow. Now, I don't get mellow as in, it's not an 80 proof Jack Daniels that is so mellow that it's just kind of...
Water.
Yeah. Maybe a little oak on the back.
I was just about to say I get a little oak on the back end, but a lot of sweet too.
A lot of sweet. It does not taste, I'm going to use a weird term, it doesn't taste young.
No, it has that little bit of, and I use the word heat because I don't know what else to use, but it has that little bit of something on the back end.
Yeah, a little pepper in
It's
the
got
back.
some age. Yeah.
Got some age.
Yeah.
By very old...
We could be talking 4, 6, 8.
It's good.
I would put it probably somewhere around the 6 to 8 year if I had to guess.
If I had to guess.
Is what I would think, but I could be completely wrong.
I think it has similarities to Buffalo Trace.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Not exact.
No, but the approachability, mellowness, slight sweetness on the end.
Yeah.
Little bit of age, but not
I don't think there's a
extreme.
massive rye content in there.
No.
If it is, it's masked by something else.
By wheat, I
And
think.
they're trying to make it seem smooth, aged, sweet, caramel, and give you a touch of oak on the back.
I really do compare it to regular Woodford.
To some degree, yes.
Yeah.
So where would you rank it?
Oh, well, right. We have to rank it. It's at that doggle hunt for me. It's
Okay.
not piddling, but it's also not hush your mouth.
Well, no, it's that dog.
It's an everyday sipper.
If you walk into a cocktail party and it's sitting there, you would happily have.
Yeah,
a
you're like,
glass.
oh, good.
Yeah,
It's like a comfort blanket.
That's
Yeah.
it would make a great gift if you're gifting
Absolutely.
someone that you know they like bourbon, but you don't know what they like. Safe.
So safe.
Slides right in because even if it's not their favorite,
Like you said, like Buffalo Trace. You're
Yeah,
almost
even-
always safe with a Buffalo Trace.
that's right. Even if it's not their favorite, they probably will drink and enjoy it. But they will have people over who will definitely drink
Absolutely.
it.
And at the very least, they'll make some old fashions out of it.
So, it's different for me than some of our other dogs will hunt, but
Yeah.
it's a dog.
Yeah.
A
good dog.
It's a good dog.
Yeah.
It ain't you, Bandit. So we do the show for a few reasons. This is the touchy-feely side of the show.
Yeah,
if you
so
like-
coming
you like-
into the new year, we're being reflective.
We're being reflective.
Yeah.
So if you stick with us for this part, we really appreciate it. I do this show for a couple reasons. First, I get to hang out with my wife and my best friends and talk about bourbon, and that's awesome. There's worse ways to spend time other than hanging out with the ones I love and enjoying this juice. We could do all this without a camera, lights. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 6 lights shining on us right now, and a microphone cables
Everywhere.
everywhere,
Just
earpieces,
cords everywhere.
and we've taken what was my home office, my wife and I's home office, and we've converted it into a studio, and we have built sound-absorbing panels out of cheap wood and
Old
some
sheets I
old
had
sheets
and
some
insulation. Yeah.
So this is not, we could do this without.
We could just be
We
back
could
at your
just
kitchen table.
drinking bourbon,
it,
yeah.
Well, and we could do without writing scripts, epic Google Calendar planning sessions, emailing, cold calling, watching you edit instead of doing other things I know that you want to do, including hanging out with me. We could,
Fair. But like a lot of people in COVID, after COVID, I had to face some of my own demons. you and I had a lot of deep conversations.
We did.
And it was about life and existence. And we were living, and we're still living in a very crazy world. And a lot of times it was a world we didn't recognize, nor was the world we thought we'd be living in when we were doing all that college stuff and life planning. Yeah. And then one night we're sitting there, and Katie looks at you should film this. You should record this. And the light bulb.
And then the next thing we knew, you're researching cameras, and you have this little twinkle in your eye of excitement. My husband's ordering mics on Amazon and soundboards.
Yeah.
Katie's building a set. I'm sitting here going, what did we just get ourselves into? But I think I'm going to get to talk to a lot of people, so I think I'm in. It was nuts.
Yeah, you walk over, and Katie's got a saw.
Yeah.
Electric saw in 2x4s, and you're like, I did not know this side of your wife. So it was chaotic.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. And after filming 3 episodes and moving the studio twice, we realized that the computers we had would not edit.
Whoopsie.
They wouldn't edit. They wouldn't edit it anymore. They were too old.
Just a tiny detail.
So we had to work through that challenge. But here's the deal. I didn't start this journey. I am so tired. I get all of these YouTube channels in our feed now about how to become a better influencer.
B would rather die than be called an influencer.
Yeah, and it's all how to grow your channel, and here's the 10,000 things you have to do, and blah, 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 blah. And it is overwhelming.
Well, and it feels inauthentic to us.
Yeah.
For us.
This is how you pick a top. Well, I've already picked it. Why would I want to pick a top?
I want to do this.
This is what I want to do. I think sometimes when people watch this, they think, well, here's 2 people trying to get on a train, right? They're trying to ride a train and
make money.
We are never going to be monetized.
Oh, we are so in the hole.
Yeah, we are never going to be monetized if what it would take. That's not even in our ballpark. No. And
if someone sends us a taste
of
a good bourbon for free, we will celebrate forever.
Yeah. And our second meeting, and Heather says, so there's going to be shirts, right?
Like we can make a t-shirt, right?
So as long as we have shirts. So we immediately found a way that we could have at least 2 t-shirts and a sweatshirt to wear on the show. And
we were very happy about it.
That put us even more in the hole because now we have sweatshirts.
And t-shirts.
Yeah. So we have no goal of monetization. We really... And in the past 2 months, this has happened. A few wonderful people have reached out, and they've either said, really like the show. Have you thought about doing it this way? Can you zoom the camera in a little bit more? Can you show the bottle a little bit more? I really like when you guys go to Happy Endings and talk to Damien. That stuff just feeds us. It's no one giving us $1.
No.
It's nobody clicking on that stupid link. It's really... just human interaction. Or, hey, have you tried over here? I hear they like this type of bourbon, and we'd like you to do that. And that's really our goal. So I'm going to put this out into the universe. If we hit 200 subscribers, which does not monetize us, by the way, in any way, but what it does is the more subscribers we can show, we can go to places and be like, hey, we're somewhat legit. Let's have a conversation. And we would love to convince the Wake County ABC people to come on our show with prepared questions,
that
no
they
surprises, they approve.
Which is how we do every interview.
Yeah. And talk to us about how this works.
Right.
We would love to go up to a couple of the other counties surrounding us. How do you handle this?
Right.
Because there's lots of questions and there's lots of eyes on it.
And there's probably a lot of rumor and things that aren't
fallacy.
true. Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Right. Let's find out what the truth is.
And how do you interact with the public? Because this is a quasi-governmental organization.
It is.
It's really strange.
It's an administrative organization.
Yeah, it's really strange to me. It's like the Centennial Authority over at NC State. What are you?
Yeah. What exactly is your authority?
Yeah. What is your authority? So
what is your vesting power?
So that subscriber base gives us the right. We lately have been able to go to a couple of distillers and say, look, we're actually growing. Here are our numbers. We'd like to talk to you. And that's our big goal, right? Go talk to North Carolina distillers, South Carolina distillers, travel around.
Feature local businesses.
Yeah, feature them and talk to them. And get to do more beyond the barrel and talk to people in the industry and hear their story and share it with you. So my big goal in doing that is when we hit 200 subscribers this year, and we're not roughly, as of filming this, we're 85 away. So if you've got 85 friends that can click like and subscribe, that's all they got to do. It's free.
We'll buy you a pour.
Yeah. We're going to host at Hoppy Endings here in Raleigh. And why Hoppy? Because they've been so good to us.
Oh, absolutely.
They've been so good to us.
They were kind of our first show friends
Bedford
that we
Food
made.
and Drink is good to us. Iron Oaks is good to us. There's several.
Whiskey Workshop. End of Days has
they've been great to us. So thank you. We'll host it up at Hoppy. We'll do our first live show. Oh my God, that is scary. I don't even begin to know how we're going to do that, but we're going to pull it off.
We'll figure it out.
And
challenge accepted.
Anyone who wants to sit down and talk bourbon with us, no politics, no drama, just char levels, tasting notes, and why you got into bourbon. We'll do about a 45-minute show, and we will make sure that there is guitar entertainment, not by me, but we have an artist.
So he says.
No, we have an artist who we think that we've made a connection with.
A friend of the show.
A friend of the show that we will bring in, and we'll have an event. So help us get to 200 subscribers. That's the dream.
So but what's your ultimate dream?
Okay, so the ultimate dream, but I would like the opportunity to interview one of the Russells.
We better hurry. Jimmy's like 900 years old.
I know. I said one of the Russells because I got questions.
We'll even take the grandson.
Yeah, I got questions. I mean, you have, and everyone knows I'm a rare breed fanboy. I mean, I'm a fanboy. And it will be definitely for me be a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory experience. I mean, it would be a golden ticket event. So that's the ultimate dream.
Absolutely.
Whether it ever happens or not, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking to be, literally, pay my money, go up there,
we will
get the hotel room. I'm not looking for the opportunity to walk in the door with the camera and say, talk to me. Yeah. Give me, your time is valuable. Here are my 10 questions. Give me 15 minutes.
Or you know what? You can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. You can talk about your favorite baseball team for all I care.
Right.
We can read the phone book.
He'd probably say it in the most interesting way it could be said. So B, if you had to articulate the main reason you do the show.
Therapy. It's therapy.
Yeah.
Bourbon makes us stop. We don't stop well. No. Our brains don't stop well. Mm-mm. Our emotions don't stop well.
But I think you and I both take the old adage, to whom much is given, much is expected, very to heart. And we feel like we have to run on 150 all the time.
And bourbon, you said it 3 or 4 shows ago, and it has stuck with me. Bourbon makes us stop. To appreciate bourbon, you have to stop, sit, and chew on it.
Literally and figuratively.
And for us, it's best with another person. It is a discussion tool. Bourbon has history, it has age, it has experience.
A lot of times it has legend.
Yeah. And so this is therapy because we sit, we learn, we research, we interact, we build this, we write it, we develop a script, we learn how to edit, we argue, but it's fun arguing. And it's therapy. And at the end of the day, whether one person watches it or the time 1,500 people watched that short in 90 minutes, which was bizarre to us. Bizarre. And they hit that thumbs up. It's some validation that somebody out there for free enjoyed something you did.
Yeah. Well, and our careers don't lend themselves as a creative outlet. We both lead very chaotic, hectic, stressful lives. Our careers are hectic and stressful. Yeah. And so this was one of the first things that we were like, wait a minute, we could combine a hobby, hanging out with someone we really enjoy hanging out with anyway, and have a creative outlet.
And blow a lot of money.
Which we're both very good at too.
Blow a lot of money.
But it's something that, and he and I both thrive on the human connection.
Yeah.
He likes to joke that I'm an extrovert. He's more extroverted than he likes to admit. But you thrive on human connection, like I do as well. We mean it when we say, if we're at a bar and we're chatting and you say, I can't believe y'all liked this. I hate that. This is great. Mm-hmm. That just fuels us. Mm-hmm. Or comments, suggestions, anything like that. We love to create that community.
Yeah. We love to hear from you. And I think you get a lot out of it, and I get a lot out of it. I think Katie gets a lot out of it sitting there making fun of us. We're getting the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Bandit gets a lot out of it because he gets to sit and be the center of attention.
I think Katie, because she deals with our perfectionism and type Aism so much that it's really fun when she gets to watch us screw things up.
Yeah.
That's probably very validating for her.
Yeah, she's nodding. And, it gives us an outlet. So I want to say into the new year, we hope that you have some dreams and aspirations. Everyone sets these wild resolutions. I hope that the new year brings you something exciting. We always have hope. It is a time of hope. It's a time of joy. It's a time of reflection. But I hope that you will continue to go on this journey with us. And if you've made it in this episode this long, thank you so much.
Yeah.
To do our ceremonial.
Yeah, you're going to have to. This is his favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
It's your favorite part.
I'm going to have to just take it.
So like B said, may all your wishes and dreams come true in 2025. And even if they don't, that's okay. Just enjoy trying to get there.
Yeah, and help us hit the 200 because we want to meet you.
We just want to hang out.
Yeah, we want to hang out. We want to hang out.
Hang out and drink good bourbon.
With that,
cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.